Alright guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be doing another top 5 video, and this time guys, we're going to be doing the top 5 best cards in X and Y evolutions. Now, I want to do a top 10 in the future on this set, but the set isn't really all that good. Like, there's not really anything in here that's truly outstanding, but there are some good things in it nonetheless, so I managed to make together a little top 5 video for you guys. So anyways, let's hop right into it, starting at number 1. Alright, coming in at number 5, guys, we have Dragonite EX. Now, this is a card that is good, but it's not going to be good in every deck. It's really only good in stuff like Mega Rayquaza and Mega Gardevoir. Maybe you could use it in Rainbow Road with Volcanion, I don't know, that would suck. But Dragonite EX only is truly good with, like, a few decks. It's not that good with every deck. Like, you're not going to be using Dragonite in every single deck you have. Even if you want to put it down your bench, grab 2 Shaymins in your deck anyways from your discard pile, that would just waste a spot on your bench, and then you'd have to get 2 cards back that would get knocked out. I don't think Dragonite EX is all that good. Yes, it's a decent card, because pull-up will be very, very useful in Mega Rayquaza, and especially it's going to be extremely good in Mega Gardevoir, because you rely on having a big bench. The problem with this is it's only useful with a few cards. It's not going to be used in every deck. So I don't really see all the hype behind it, so I'm kind of just going to have to put Dragonite EX at my number 5 spot. I kind of feel bad about this because people are saying this is a great card, but I can't honestly see it. Just the fact that it's really only good with a few, decks. It's not all that great. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put it here at number 5. Alright guys, and coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Starmie and Starmie Break. This is kind of a bit of a tie, I guess. Not really a tie, it's technically the same card. Now, this is another instance where the Break and the normal version actually work very well together. Or just, the normal version also is very good with the Break. So, normal Starmie, it's got a really nice ability that works well in stuff like Volcanion, and it could work nicely in Mega Sceptile. So basically, discard a card from your hand, and then put 2 basic energies from your discard pile into your hand. This is great with Volcanion, because you can discard a card, and then that'll allow you to get 2 energies back to do a double Steam Up. Also, you can use the Mega Sceptile, where you can retreat your Sceptile into a new Sceptile, and then Space Beacon, get those 2 grass energies back you retreated with, and then use Sceptile and heal that Sceptile. Basically, you could go on forever with that combo. Starmie, it's not that bad. It's got a good ability. Now, it's not going to be good in every deck, once again. It could be good in Greninja also. That'll be nice. If you get 2 Greninja breaks in play, you can Starmie to get back 2 water energies, so that you can Giant Water Shuriken twice. It's got its, good, it's good in a few decks, but not every deck. You can also use it maybe in Magnezone. Now, the Break is also very nice because the Break has a very powerful attack called Break Star, where for 1 water, it does 100 damage to each of your opponent's Break Pokemon. Now, this is nice because you can hit stuff like Greninja Break, Trevenant Break, maybe Zoroark Break if any of that gets into play. Now, the problem is not every deck is going to run a Break Pokemon. In fact, most decks play EXs, not Breaks. So, honestly, Break Star won't always be that good. It's really only good when you do run into a deck that uses Break Pokemon, like a Greninja Break deck, a Trevenant Break deck, or maybe a deck that uses stuff like Zoroark Break. But you're not always going to run into a Break-heavy deck. Maybe, maybe Xerneas Break too. But the problem is, guys, I had to put this at number 4 because, again, Starmie's ability, again, it's limited in few decks that really rely on it. And Break Star, again, you're only going to need this against Break Pokemon. When you're not playing against Break Pokemon, Starmie Break is kind of useless. So I'm going to be putting Starmie and Starmie Break here at number 4. And guys, coming in at our number 3 spot, we have RadekAid. And RadekAid, this is a card I kind of wanted to put at number 2, but really, the negatives kind of do outweigh some of the positives. Now, RadekAid is pretty good, because, well, it's got a very powerful attack called Shadowy Bite. For just a single energy, you do 60 damage times the number of special energies in your opponent's discard pile. And holy cow, that is pretty good, because there are decks that use special energies to their advantage. You can, use it against decks that use double dragon energies, and especially decks that really rely heavily on double colorless. Now, there are some good things to that, but then there's some bad things. The first bad thing is, 1, RadekAid only has 60 HP. So, it's extremely weak. And if you're going to use RadekAid, you probably wouldn't rely on a deck on it, because if you use a deck just on RadekAid, I mean, you could use RadekAid Break also, but the problem is there are decks that don't use special energies, like Greninja Break, Volcanion, stuff like that. They don't use water, they don't use special energies. So special energies is what you're relying on, and when a deck doesn't play that, you're kind of, it's not going to be that great. If you don't play against a deck that uses special energy cards, RadekAid, it's almost useless, unless you use a break version. But really, Shadowy Bite, it's great because there are decks that use a lot of special energies. There's probably more decks that use special energies than there is decks that don't use special energies. You know, you got stuff like Mewtwo Y uses it, obviously Rainbow Road, Mega Rayquaza, you know, Darkrai Giratina, just Giratina variants, period. There are decks that do rely on special energies a lot. But the problem is when you have stuff like Special Charge 2. This is another problem. Decks that use special energies, they will probably run a few special charges, which immediately takes off 120 damage from Shadowy Bite, and it just makes Shadowy Bite not as good. You probably won't run into many decks that use special energies, like multiple versions of them, like DC and Double Dragon Energy in one deck, or DC and Strong Energy in one deck. You're not going to be running into that too much. So Shadowy Bite is really limited in its matches, because some decks will use Special Charge to kind of weaken it, and you'd have to rely on hammers and stuff. You can try with Mega Scissor, which I do want to make a video on in the future, a Mega Scissor RadekAid deck. That's a deck I'm going to be working on. But RadekAid, again, it's a little limited, so that kind of kept it off of the number 2 spot. Also, though, Rattata, sorry, is actually a really good partner. RadekAid, you know, Rattata, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying RadekAid, but Rattata, when you play down, discard tool on your opponent's active Pokemon. That's actually a pretty good ability, because you can get rid of Bursting Balloons, Fighting Fury Bells, and even Spirit Link cards. So Rattata and RadekAid, good combo, coming in at our number 3 spot. And guys, coming in at the number 2 spot is going to be Beedrill. Now, this and RadekAid, it was kind of a close tie. Both cards, they're cool and good, but they're not amazing. Now, Beedrill, I think, is the better of the two, and I made a video on Beedrill last week, which, believe it or not, is like one of my most supported videos ever, so I gotta thank you guys a lot for the support on that video. It's awesome to see how much love you guys showed. Anyways, Beedrill, it's good. And it works nicely with Force of Giant Plants. It has the speed behind it with that. And Swarming Sting, you can snipe Shaymins, and maybe if you're playing in Expanded, you could use Target Whistle and make Beedrill even better. Now, the problem is you need 2 energies, and with only a 120 HP, and the fact that it is a Stage 2 to begin with, if you're playing against a deck that shuts down stadiums like maybe Giratina, Beedrill is really at a huge disadvantage. And it does have a lot of disadvantages. And it relies on a stadium and relies on the speed, and if that does somehow get shut down, Beedrill really isn't that good. And even the fact that you need 2 energies would mean it would take 2 turns to get this thing going, and with the speed of the format, it could get knocked out. So I don't really know how strong Beedrill truly is. I think it's definitely a good deck to play, but I doubt it'll be tier 1, maybe tier 2, tier 1.5 the latest, I think. But again, Beedrill, again, even with its speed, it gets shut down by Giratina, and the fact that you need to rely on speed can kind of hurt you sometimes, because decks that use stadiums can shut you down to counter your Force of Giant Plants. It needs 2 energies to attack. Even with Experience Share, it's still not as good as you might think. Beedrill, it's definitely a cool card and is worth looking into, but I don't think it's that good. Now, before we do get into the number 1 spot, I actually have some honorable mentions. Now, I want you guys to quickly leave a comment down below what you think the number 1 spot is, and I'm curious to see what you guys think that the number 1 spot will be on this. Anyways, the first honorable mention, I'm just going to give this quickly to Electrode. Electrode has Buzzap Thunder. It's a cool card. You can use it with a lot of electric-type Pokemon and maybe give them a chance to actually shine a little better. And yeah, so I gotta put it at an honorable mention. I don't think it's quite worthy of actually making the list, but again, it's not all that bad. And then the next honorable mention, I'm just gonna be giving this one here to the Charizard here from base set in this. Now, this is not a bad card. It's good, and I'm seeing it with Magnezone now, and you could also maybe use it with like a Special Charge DC deck or Volcanion. I think Magnezone probably might be the best way to go, just it's seeing the most success right now. But the problem is it's a stage 2 and does need that fire energy, and the fact that fire energy without Blacksmith kind of hurts it. And if you do play with Magnezone, you're basically relying on a double stage 2 deck, which again, that is not a great way to go about things. But it's not a bad card. If this thing gets rolling, it can actually be devastating with Magnezone. So I am going to be putting this honorable mention. Also, another honorable mention that I'm going to be giving this one to, it's going to be the Mewtwo. And this Mewtwo, it barely missed out on the list just because that its real only good purpose is to deal with Mewtwo Y. Other than that, it's not all that great, because some decks don't really use a lot of energies. Maybe Giratina it could also be good against, but it's really only good against Mewtwo Y EX. Other than that, again, this card, it's not as good as you might think. It's good at shutting down Mewtwo Y EX, but other than that, it's not as good, and yeah. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. Anyways, let's get into the number 1 spot. What do you guys think it's going to be? And yeah, let's go into it. And guys, rounding out the top 5 video here, we have our number 1 spot, which goes to both Pidgeot and MegaPidgeot EX. Now, it's honestly looking like it could be a pretty powerful deck. MegaPidgeot EX has a decent attack Mach Cyclone. 3 for 130, which we'll get into why that's good in a minute. But one, that's going to 2-shot a lot of decks. It's going to smoke through most Megas since they will get 2-shotted. It has good HP, it's a Mega, and it's not, the worst attack either. Also, it does magic number of 130, which not only is good against taking out Baby Eviltalls, it's also good at taking out Greninjas. That is very good. Also, it takes out stuff like Talonflame, I think, which has 130 HP. So Mach Cyclone does hit for a decent magic number, and that's really good. The fact that it hits 130 is, I think, what makes Mach Cyclone a good attack. But also, when you pair it with the card Shrine of Memories, well, boom, you can use this with Mirror Move, where if the Pidgeot takes damage, you can dish out that same amount of damage that it took. Now, it's not like Damage Changer, unfortunately, where you move the damage off. That would be a little strong. So Mirror Move just does the opposite. Kind of not the opposite, but it's a toned down version where all that damage they do to you, you're going to deal the same amount of damage back. And with Mega Pidgeot, you can get up to 220 HP, and that'll allow you to do up to 210 damage max with Mirror Move if your opponent even manages to do 210 damage. I don't even think it's possible to do that anyways. So technically 200 damage. So they do 200 damage to you max, then you're going to be able to do 200 damage right back at them for 1 energy, and with Shrine of Memories, it's a very good combo. And Mega Pidgeot, again, it hits for a good number, it's a very powerful attacker, and when you can pair it with Shrine of Memories and Mirror Move, it's also going to combo really nicely. So it's just such a nice little combo of cards. So Mega Pidgeot and Pidgeot, I'm going to be giving the number 1 spot here on the top 5 best cards from XY Evolutions. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What do you guys think of the list? Do you guys think the list was any good? I think it was pretty well put together. Again, Evolutions isn't the greatest set in the world. Now, it is nice, but still, there are good cards in it, but again, it's mostly just things that'll be good in certain decks, which I kind of explained in Pro Trade here, but there are good things to come out of the set. So what do you guys think? What do you think the best card in the set is? Do you have a top 5? Leave your top 5 down below. Also, I gotta thank you guys so much for the support of my channel recently. I've been gaining a lot of subscribers, and I've also been getting a lot of support in my videos, so I gotta thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for that. All the work I put in my videos is paying off really nicely, and I gotta thank you guys so much for all the support. And yeah, again, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Help me on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys on another video. Bye-bye.